Don't ask what's in my cup. Another thing, we were talking about this yesterday about the J. Cole and No Name thing. Do you know about that situation? So we were talking more about like how they're like, you can't cancel J. Cole. And it's like, you know, to each his own. Like, if you feel like you want to cancel him, you can cancel him. However, I want to talk about more of like, all she was saying is, if y'all really talking about Black Lives Matter, let's talk about all the Black lives, and like, let's also talk about trans lives. Like, rappers, where y'all at? Y'all not speaking, and people look up to you all, and I get that. And he was just like, oh, you know, I get you, I respect you, however, you know, treat us. But the one thing that got me about the whole J. Cole thing was, he was just like, you know, well, treat us like babies. You gotta like feed it to us. And I'm like, huh? Let me tell you something, because like, this man did all this rapping about like, you know, I'm woke, I'm educated, right, and I'm spitting, I'm tough. And now it's like, no, treat me like babies when I'm trying to learn though. And it's like, I thought it was all wrong here. Like, and what you trying to learn, like, this has been a problem. Again, another thing, like, these problems have been existing. When we gonna actually just like acknowledge them and actually do something with them? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
It's so simple. Lives, people matter. We have a simple value that if you are alive, you are a human, that you matter in all of your existence and identity. And if there's anything that comes against you, whether it's systemic or more personal, then all of those things are not good. And somebody, somewhere needs to stand up against it. It's a simple concept, and it should be applicable to all people.
Yeah.
Period. It's not hard. You don't need to take that class.
If you exist in the world, even though you may not agree with everything they do, they still a person. Like, and it's okay to be different. Like, I don't understand why people think that, oh, you don't do what I do. That's not okay. It's not even about a bias. It's about, okay, you're different, I'm different. Let's exist together. Like, we can both exist in this world. It doesn't have to be a like, no, that's unacceptable, I'm acceptable. But like, no, there is no biases here. We all need to just exist and just acknowledge the fact that we're different. And that's okay. We ain't gotta be robots. But that's the society we live in.
Exactly, because that's the problem. A lot of people have learned to not value everybody. A lot of people have learned to not value themselves.
Or something is not right. Like, this is not right. But who told you this was right and who told you this was wrong?
And why do you think you know what's right and wrong, God?
You, like, you know, I was taught that you're supposed to love regardless. And at the end of the day, if I didn't do it in love, it's not right. And that's what I believe at the end of the day. If it ain't done in love, I shouldn't be doing it, regardless of what it was.
Yeah.
Well, I want to touch back on the whole trans life thing. I think it's hard for a lot of Black male rappers to accept it and speak up for it, because a lot of times those are the ones who committing the hate crimes on the Black trans people.
Absolutely.
Those are the people who are attacking them most of the time. So it's hard when you make a song and you address it. Of course, they're gonna take offense to it, because a lot of times it's just pure homophobic.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and then my thing is, if you're comfortable within yourself, you shouldn't feel threatened by anybody else's identity.
Hello.
That's my whole opinion. My whole opinion is, if you're comfortable within yourself, regardless of what your identity is, you should never feel threatened or feel like you have to isolate or bring down another identity. Because it's like, cool, you over there, I'm over here. We can exist together because you're still a person. You feel me? Yeah. It should never make you that, like, and yes, I get things make you uncomfortable, but we do things that make us uncomfortable all the time.
Right.
So what does accepting somebody else's identity, how is that any different?
Right.
Make it make sense.
It doesn't.
But that's just
a lot of people, just like we were talking about white privilege, very much so male privilege is a thing.
Yes, that's the biggest problem, baby. That's the biggest
Black men
problem.
hold on to their privilege like it is just, you know, gold, okay? What's happening?
Skip it.
Oh.
Sorry.
So, Black men just hold on to our privilege like it's gold.
And everybody, and then that's, honestly, this feminine and masculinity is going to be the hugest problem that we face. Yes, race.
Come on now.
Yes, race is a problem, but the role of a man versus the role of a woman and how that is, and like what, like, I feel like females always feel like they gotta like take care of the male and nurture somebody, and it's like okay, and then the male is just like, I'm a man, and it's like okay.
Who told you this?
What makes you a man?
From childhood.
What makes you a man here?
My whole leg is asleep. From childhood, little man, you're indoctrinated to be this person that you probably are not. You know what I'm saying? And that is something that is real bad within Black culture, okay?
Yep.
Like, it is okay to just let a child be a child regardless of their gender. And if you want to keep them, you know, within the confines of gender, at least maximize their ability to choose what they like. What? These are very simple.
Or at least let them
concepts.
explore it. If you like, let them explore it. A child is supposed to explore it. They're supposed to figure out, I don't like that. Let me try. I don't like that. You know, that's a child's job. They just got to the world. They need to figure it out. Like, they trying to figure out what makes sense for them. And you shouldn't minimalize that by just saying like, no, you can do all this but this. Like, you gotta be like, you gotta learn sometimes. Like, they gotta crawl before they walk. They gotta fall. They gotta touch the radiator to see, oh, that's hot. Like, you can't just say no, like, all the time.
Right.
Yes, you need to be like, yes, be aware, child. Like, this is the world we live in.
Exactly.
You can inform them, but that does not mean you say, this is what you are. Like, no, you gotta be like, you're a child.
Like, this is what you should be, and something is absolutely wrong with you if you're not. That is a problem. And
that's not what we teach, and that's that like that mindset that you were talking about. Like, these behaviors are taught. What you guys?
Well, since I'm the only person in here with a kid, I think when you get a child, you don't want your child to be out there exploring. You just want your child to be a child. You don't want your child to be, because once they're out there exploring, then they're getting judged and bullied by their peers. Then they're having suicidal thoughts and they're wanting to kill themselves, like a lot of children are doing now because they're getting bullied. So my thing is not don't do this or don't do that. My thing is be a child and stay in a child's place. Because once you start doing things like that, you're exposed to the world. And you're exposed to hate. You're exposed to bullying. You're exposed to things a child shouldn't be exposed to. So,
you were saying how you don't want to just let your child explore.
Yeah, so I told my son, I'm like, his happiness is the most important thing. I think your child's happiness is most important to you. Well, for me it is. So I tell him, you know, have fun. But at the same time, he should be a child. Why you can be a child? Because when we get in our 20s, we always like, I wish I could be a child again. So why not enjoy being a child when you can?
Right. But that I feel like that still goes with what we were saying. I'm not saying it's like, I wasn't saying explore as in like throw them into the world and be like, live, child. No, I'm saying as in like, if your child pick up a Barbie doll, right, and it's a boy and he decides to pick up a Barbie doll, maybe he just wants to figure out like, why can't I play with dolls? You know, right. But you say no, put the damn down. Like, you feel me? Like, that is what I think both of us were referring to a little bit more of, like, play with cars. You feel me? Like, if he didn't want to go to the cars, why would you give him a car? But if he showed interest, like, I have a cousin whose little baby watches the cars. So she knew, like, I'm buying some cars because he like cars. Like, you know, if he's expressing interest in that, then do it. But don't just dictate, like, no, I don't want you to. You feel me? Like, yes, be protective and be like, you know, make sure that you protect your child. But I just feel like don't limit them to like being like you said, being a child.
But then again, I think that they do limit them out of fear of what. Okay, you're playing with dolls and your friends outside see you playing with the dolls, then what's gonna happen? When you go outside, they're gonna want to beat you up.
But that's the conversation.
They're gonna tease you.
Right.
So I don't think it's necessarily when your parent does that, I don't think it's always necessarily being homophobic or wanting to limit you. I think it's just trying to save you from hurt that you're gonna feel in the future.
Right.
From what they let you do when they could have seen it happening and stopped it.
Not that. It's because it can't be stopped. That's the thing. And You know, like we used to play with your Barbie dolls together. Okay?
Well, no, if someone's gonna be gay, they're gonna be gay regardless.
Well, yeah, not only that, but you got your own interests. Go ahead, Jasmine.
Yeah, I mean, no, you can't stop someone from being who they are, but you can tell them like, okay,
that's what I'm saying. It's a conversation.
You can prepare them, but I think certain ages are like 7, 8, 10, 12. I think that's a little young to be getting your child prepared, because at that time they're still, peer pressure is still heavy, bullying is still heavy. They still don't have a mind of their own. They still following their friends. So I think at that age it's still, they just got to do a lot more developing before they get there.
I still think it's more of a explain the why. Like a lot of times that is not like what is said. It's not, don't do this because I'm afraid of like how the world will treat you. The world is not nice. That's not the conversation that is being said. It's don't do this because that's gay. Right. Which is what a lot of like older parents used to like tell kids and things like that. You're not supposed to do that. Like it's not it's no conversation there. It's just I said don't do it, don't do it. But that conversation is good because like the kids are curious. Right. They just want to know why. Why can't I do it? Which is why they end up doing it anyway, because they like, why are you telling me no? Right. Like the whole like radiant. Don't touch radiant, it's hot. Or why can't I touch it? I'ma touch it. Like you feel me? Like you gotta tell them why. Like if you touch it, your finger is gonna burn. And if they still want to experiment, it at least was that conversation there. Or if they get in trouble for it, I whooped you because I told you that you could get hurt and you almost got hurt. Like that conversation needs to be a part of the like discipline. It should just never just be like, don't do it, stop, period. And it's I agree with you, Naya. Why?
But I feel like when you say don't do it because that'll be perceived as gay, that's when you're making them homophobic.
Exactly.
Because then they'll grow up and be like, oh, you did this and this and that? Oh, that's gay.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a conversation, as in like, hey, I know you like to play, like if we're using a doll example. If a boy starts playing with a doll, you can say, hey, I understand you like this. That was on Queen Sugar. His son was playing with dolls.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to watch that.
But it was just like, I'm supporting you, but I want you to know the world may not support you. And that's what it should be. It shouldn't be just like I'm doing this because the world is against you. Because they need to still know that like you still in their corner too.
True.
Because you coming off as that same person that's attacking them.
So a few years back, I wrote a poem about kind of connecting black mothers or black parents' homophobia to kind of infanticidal tactics in slavery days. Like again, you have this natural instinct to protect your child, which sometimes leads to you hurting your child first in hopes that, you know, that might alleviate some hurt in the future, but actually that just creates double hurt from inside and outside the home. That is the issue, especially when people carry those traumas around with them everywhere they go. So we got so many people who are walking around with so much hurt because folks purposefully hurt them. Like, so many stories come of things of that nature. Great intentions, not so great actions, and definitely not so beautiful results. I mean, at the end of the day, I really like your point about having the conversation about the reality of the fact, because at the end of the day, your child's development, it is really predicated upon the environment that you create and the experiences that they have in that environment. And so those are the two things that you have some kind of control over, but definitely hurting people on purpose is never a good thing in any context.
Or like even if it's not intentional, you still hurt somebody. You can't just let that be and like, oh, they'll get over it. Like, that's not healing any wounds. You got any last things you want to say?
Just treat people how you want to be treated.
And then also, we started talking about Karens.
You want to say something about Karen?
It's okay to mind your business, Karen. Okay.
Yes. You know what? Worry about yourself. At the end of the day, If you can't control it, don't do nothing about it. That's it. That's all. Because if you manipulate some things and you end up on the short end of the stick, you made your bed, lay in it. Like, it's that simple. But okay, stay tuned. Thanks, you guys.
You're welcome. We look like TLC.
Don't go chasing waterfalls. Listen to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to.
Would I be T-Boz?
You got to.
You do.
I
Give me
like her.
T-Boz.
You don't like T-Boz, she got sickle cell.
You should be her. You should be
I'm
her.
T-Boz,
I'm
look
left
like
back.
it.
No, you should be her. We just played the whole
I'm
time
left that
about
she chilling.
colorism and
And I'm
stuff.
T-Boz.
Boom.
Oh.
I think Naya should be chilly.
Oh, I'm chilly. And what you want to be? Left back?
Yeah.
You need something on your eye.
I know. I had to cover up my pimples the other day, so I did have a Band-Aid on, so I should be left eye.
So you
Okay.
a Band-Aid is better than
This used to be
Okay.
us when we used to be Destiny Childs, and I always be like, I'll just be Kelly, because they used to argue about Beyonce all the time.
I deserve to be
No,
Beyonce,
whoever was
but I
Michelle
have
was
to
the
be
loser,
Beyonce.
okay? She's talking about she tried to
I was okay with being Kelly,
She was
okay?
trying to sneak in a luck up, okay?
I was okay with being Kelly.
Don't nobody not like Kelly.
Exactly.
People don't like Michelle.
But they was fighting on
And I don't
Beyonce, and I was just like,
I'm just a Beyonce type of chick, okay?
You're Beyonce. I'm a Virgo. What? And I'm a performer.
I'm a
and I'm
Beyonce
good at it.
type.
Okay, thanks for watching. Don't forget, don't ask what's in my cup.